Deep within Whispering Woods, atop the tallest mountain, stood an ancient stone tower. Locals spoke of it in hushed tones, for it was more than just a ruin. It held a legend, a glimmer of hope, and a mystery that captivated all. The legend spoke of a magical bell within the tower, a bell that rang only once in a lifetime. This was no ordinary chime. It was said to possess unimaginable power. A single toll could banish evil, heal the land, and fulfill the heart's greatest desire. Generations had passed, yet the bell remained silent, patiently awaiting the day its magic would be awakened once more. The elders would share tales of the bell, their voices filled with awe and reverence. Stories of the bell were more than just bedtime stories. They were beacons of hope. Reminders that even in the darkest of times, a single act of pure intent could change everything. 12-year-old Lila was captivated by this legend. She lived in a small cottage on the edge of Whispering Woods with her grandfather, a weathered old woodsman who knew the forest's secrets like the back of his hand. Lila, with her bright eyes and a thirst for adventure, would spend hours listening to her grandfather's tales. "Grandpa, is it true? Can the bell really grant any wish?" she asked, her eyes wide with wonder. Her grandfather, with a twinkle in his eye, would reply, "The bell, my dear, answers not to wishes but to something far greater. It responds to a pure heart and selfless intent." Lila, though young, understood the weight of his words. She carried the legend in her heart, not as a means to an end, but as a guide, a reminder that true magic resided not in wishes but in actions. Every day Lila roamed the paths of Whispering Woods, her heart brimming with kindness. She helped birds build their nests, guided lost rabbits back to their burrows, and spoke to the trees as if they were old friends. The forest, in turn, seemed to embrace her, its whispers growing fonder with every act of compassion she showed. Lila's kindness was not limited to the forest. She helped her elderly neighbors with their chores, shared her meager food with stray animals, and always had a smile and a kind word for everyone she met. Her grandfather, watching her grow, felt a surge of pride. He knew in his heart that Lila possessed a rare and beautiful gift, a heart that resonated with the very soul of the forest. Her laughter echoed through the woods, as bright and clear as the morning sun. To Lila, the forest was not a place of fear, but a sanctuary, a testament to the quiet power of empathy that resonated within her. One day a strange stillness fell upon Whispering Woods. The birdsong ceased, the leaves hung limp, and a heavy silence blanketed the land. Worse still, a shadow of sickness and despair crept over their village. The crops withered, the animals fell ill, and a pallor of fear settled over the villagers' faces. The villagers gathered in the square, their faces etched with worry. The elders spoke in hushed tones, their faces grim. "The forest is angered," they whispered. "We have taken too much, given too little in return." Lila, witnessing the despair around her, felt a pang in her heart. She knew she had to do something, anything to help. Her gaze fell upon the imposing silhouette of the ancient tower, silhouetted against the stormy sky. An idea sparked in her mind, a sliver of hope piercing the gloom. The legend of the bell, once a fantastical tale, now glimmered as their only hope. But the path to the tower was fraught with danger, a treacherous journey that no one dared to undertake. Lila, however, was different. Fueled by her compassion and the plight of her village, she made a decision. "I will go," she declared, her voice small but resolute. "I will ring the bell and restore balance to our land." Her grandfather, though initially hesitant, saw the unwavering determination in her eyes. He knew he couldn't hold her back. He embraced her tightly and said, "May the spirit of the forest guide you, Lila. Your heart is your compass. Trust in it." Lila, armed with her grandfather's words and an unwavering belief in her purpose, ventured into the heart of Whispering Woods. The forest, once familiar and welcoming, now seemed to test her resolve. Thorns tore at her clothes, the path disappeared under fallen logs, and the whispers of the forest, once friendly, now seemed like warnings carried on the wind. Yet Lila persevered. She soothed a wounded fox with her scarf, calmed a frantic bird that had fallen out of its nest, and even shared her meager rations with a family of hungry squirrels. With each act of kindness, the path seemed to ease, the forest responding to the purity of her heart. The forest, though harsh, recognized in her a kindred spirit, a guardian of its sanctity. It was as if the forest itself was testing her, pushing her to her limits, only to reveal the strength that lay dormant within her compassionate heart. Finally, after days of tireless walking and unwavering kindness, Lila reached the foot of the ancient tower. The climb was arduous, the stone steps worn with age, but with each step she felt a surge of hope, a sense of purpose guiding her every move. And then she stood before the magnificent bell. Its bronze surface, aged and weathered, seemed to hum with latent energy. Taking a deep breath, Lila reached out and struck the bell. The sound that erupted was not deafening, as one might expect, but a clear, resonant tone that seemed to reverberate with the very soul of the forest. The sound travelled through the forest, reaching every corner of the land. It was a sound of hope, a promise of renewal, echoing the unadulterated compassion in Lila's heart. The solitary toll was not just a sound. It was a beacon of change, a testament to the power of one small act of genuine kindness. As the last reverberation of the bell faded, a sense of peace descended upon the land. The wind, which had been silent and heavy, now carried the scent of wildflowers and damp earth. The birds resumed their song, their melodies sweeter than before. The forest, once shrouded in a discontented silence, was alive again. Back in the village, the transformation was equally dramatic. The crops, which had been on the verge of death, sprang back to life. The villagers, pale and weak, felt a surge of energy, the shadow of illness lifting from their faces. The animals, once listless, were now filled with renewed vigor. The curse had lifted. The village square, once a picture of despair, was now filled with laughter and relief. They might not have witnessed Lila's brave act, but they felt its impact in every fibre of their being. Lila, exhausted but exhilarated, returned to the village, her heart overflowing with a quiet joy. She didn't need praise or accolades. The revitalized forest and the relieved faces of her fellow villagers were reward enough. In that moment she understood the true meaning of her grandfather's words. The bell had answered not to a wish, but to a selfless act, to a heart attuned to the needs of others. The magic, she realized, was not in the bell itself, but in the unwavering kindness and empathy she carried within her. The story of Lila and the bell became a cherished legend, passed down through generations. It served as a constant reminder that true power lay not in might or magic, but in the enduring strength of a kind and selfless heart.